Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Aaron Trevino here, and we have a terrific guest today. We have Nick from beautiful Austin, Texas. How you doing, Nick?
Yeah, I'm blessed, man. Excited to be here and finally get an opportunity to sit down with you and your listeners and talk shop.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we'd had this in the works for a while. Trying to get in touch, and it's been great to connect with you.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. Now's a crazy time, and fortunately, even with everything going on, we've been very blessed. So, yeah, man, let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those of us who aren't too familiar with you, Nick, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, again, Nick Perry from Austin, Texas. Originally from Washington, D.C., Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. Grew up there, went to high school in Virginia, was homeless at 18, was basically a personal trainer, uh, showering and living out of the gym, and then got into sales around, 23 years old and uh, realized I had a knack for sales. So I dove into that, moved down to Austin, and started my real estate company pretty much as soon as I arrived here in 2014. Dove right into wholesaling, and then was able to quit my 9 to 5 job. Built a amazing team and company around myself, and fortunately, we're at a position now where we do around like $3 to $4 million a year in wholesale assignment revenue. Yeah, man, we're just getting started. I own a bunch of other companies as well. I own a transportation company, I own a e-commerce company. So, that's where I'm at. I'm kind of sitting back and letting my team do what they do best.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. More so than anything, I'm really interested in kind of the mindset aspect, from going to being homeless at age 18, showering at the gym to where you are now. Was there any particular moment where you had kind of a mindset shift, or how did this change for you?
I think I always had more of like a rebellious mindset, even growing up, like, as an adolescent in high school, like I was always, in trouble, getting kicked out of class. I made it to like 10th grade and then they expelled me. I had to get my, I had to get my diploma. I was able to do it online, fortunately. So I still got a high school diploma, but I was always the kind of guy that I just wanted to make my own path. So, as soon as I was able to start working, I was working all the time from 14 years old. I've been working pretty much every day of my life since I was 14. I just knew that there was nobody coming to save me. I grew up, at, my parents were divorced. So until I was around like 13, I lived with my mom, and then she sent me to live with my dad. My dad, he, was struggling growing up. We lived in a 1 bedroom apartment in the hood. I slept on the couch, and I realized like, a lot of times there wasn't any food. There wasn't really anything to eat. If I was going to provide for myself, it was going to be on me. So, that's really kind of what sparked it in me. Was I was like, you're responsible for your own destiny, and that drive hasn't really left me. I think I've refined my mentality. I'm always constantly growing and developing my mindset and becoming stronger and more disciplined every single day. So
Yeah, it's interesting that kind of that responsibility aspect to it. But in terms of kind of refining yourself from a mindset perspective, are there any sort of mental exercises or maybe things that you do to kind of hone that skill?
yeah, I do shit I hate every single day, and I do it all the time because you know what, like doing what you hate is where you get the reward, right? Like I go to the gym twice a day. Is it because I want to and I love the gym so much? Absolutely not. But you know what? That kind of discipline and commitment is what is going to allow you to, have the physique you want, have the health you want, and that ripples out to other areas of your life. Like, if I have a, problem or a challenge, I'm just very, headstrong on attacking it head first and making sure that I'm doing what I need to do, despite, whatever challenges come up. And, also like, I think a big part of my mentality is like, I just, I'm, I've I have a hardened mindset because I had it hard growing up. So I'm not scared of hard work and doing what it takes to get to where I want to go.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. I mean, frankly, it's scary for people too. The thought of going to the gym, twice a day, or doing things you hate. How do you kind of get into that from starting in a maybe a comfortable place, and you don't want to get out of that comfort zone?
You're a grown adult, right? Nobody's going to come force you to do anything. If you don't go to the gym, nobody's going to force you. There's not going to be any negative repercussions that anybody's going to apply on you. The negative repercussions are going to come to yourself when you don't have the physique that you want, or you don't have the health that you want. You're the only one that's going to have to deal with that. So, if you're a grown man or woman, like, take responsibility for your own life is kind of the mentality that I have. And when you get those negative voices in the back of your head, like, I really don't want to be here. I'm just going to kind of, I'll keep using the gym analogy. Like, I'll just, I'll do 5 sets today. No, you're the only one at the end of the day. When you lay your head down on the pillow, you're the only one that's going to have to live with yourself. So, make yourself proud. Confidence and success comes from honoring the promises you make to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Honor yourself, and I think that's probably one of the key mindset and characteristic takeaways that's helped me get to where I'm at.
Yeah, that's absolutely crucial. It kind of reminds me of that saying, no matter how far you go, there you are, right? I mean, you can tell yourself you're going to do 5 sets and then only do 3, but hey, no one's keeping you accountable for the 2. But at the end, you know that you skimped out, right?
You're accountable to you at the end of the day. Even if you're listening to this and you're working a 9 to 5, nobody's going to, and I know you got a boss and everything, nobody's going to force you to make that call, or nobody's going to force you to do your job with pride and, the way it should be done, right? At the end of the day, you got to take responsibility for yourself and your action, and you're the only one that has to lay their head down at night and decide, did I make myself proud today, or did I cop out when I shouldn't have? So, I just can't live with myself if I know that I've cut corners, or I didn't give it 110%. If I let that voice in the back of my head win, it drives me crazy. So
Yeah, I mean that's definitely, if you have that sort of mentality, it's definitely enough to keep you up at night, right?
yeah, and on the flip side of that is when you do you know take on your challenges head on, you're disciplined, you don't cop out on what you're supposed to be doing, whatever task is ahead of you, even if you don't want to do it. um, the the reward from that is far greater than I think anything. If Tony Robbins says, happiness is progress, right? So, everybody's trying to chase happiness. If you want to just be happy, just go bang your arm full of heroin. You'll be happy. But if you want true lasting happiness, it comes from progress and becoming more and growing and uh, being able to fill up your cup so you can pour into other people. And if you're cutting corners and not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then it's hard to do that. So
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on something interesting there. Could you kind of elaborate on, filling your cup and then maybe someone else's?
yeah, if you don't have if you haven't filled your cup with uh, experience and discipline and knowledge, and fed your mind and your body everything that it needs, you're going to be lacking. And if you're lacking, you're not going to be good to anybody around you. You're not going to be good to your family. You're not going to be a good friend. You're not going to be a good coworker. So that's what I mean when it comes down to doing even simple tasks like going to the gym or cleaning your car, or the task you have ahead of you at work. All that stuff matters, right? Because if you get that done, you're going to be coming from a stronger place to be able to give to other people around you. So when we talk about mindset, a lot of people want these like 3-step, quick ways to make money. It comes down to doing the little things every single day to get you to where you need to go, and laying every single brick as perfectly as you can lay it. You do that enough days in a row, you look back 3 months from now and you're like, holy shit, like we've actually got some tangible progress in I'm really proud of the work that I've been doing. So, that's really, I mean, that's mindset for entrepreneurial success, relationships, just really anything is, doing all those little things that, people tend to overlook and want to cut corners on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crucial. In terms of kind of having those daily wins. On a daily basis. How do it can be daunting for people to kind of think of this, right? How do you kind of set up your day or go about your day to kind of make sure that you're getting everything done?
So I use an app called Trello. Basically, it's just a list management app, and I've got lists for everything in my life. Like I told you, I own multiple companies. So each one of my companies has a list of things that need to get done, right? And then I have like my today and like this week list. And so things that are on the other list start getting pushed onto the today and this week. And my goal is to get all of those done. If I lay my head down and it's not done, well, I cut a corner and I fail myself, and I'm going to be the one that has to live with my own, shit. So, Trello is a great app. Me as an entrepreneur that runs multiple businesses, or anybody that's just, running a busy life. We all have different areas of our life we need to stay accountable to, right? You got things that you need to do for your business or job. You got things that you need to do in your personal life, right? There's probably things that you should be doing with your family, right? To make sure that you're uh, cultivating and deepening your relationships with your family, your faith. It's just a good app to keep yourself accountable. And one thing that I always do every morning is I do my list the night before for what's going to happen the next day. And then my goal is first thing in the morning, get a win. So whatever small thing is on there, what can I knock out to just get that win?
Yeah.
Right? Because that creates a spark and it creates momentum. So you can go out and win the day.
Yeah, that's absolutely crucial. So, just kind of shifting gears a bit, in terms of talking about your entrepreneurial ventures, your businesses. I know you mentioned how, there were some tough times when you were 18, showering at the gym. Were you always in real estate? Did you always have these sorts of ventures, or how did you kind of start out?
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I was a personal trainer. I was, played sports growing up, and I had no idea um, that real estate was even something I might even be remotely interested in until I moved down to Austin. When I was on my way to Austin, I didn't have a job. I didn't have, any friends down here. I literally just moved down here with 5 grand in my name, and moved to East Riverside. If you guys are familiar, I was living in the 1 bedroom apartment in the hood, and I had to make some moves pretty quickly. And I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to have somebody telling me what to do every single day. And so I was like, okay, well, where are the different areas that I can, you know, come up and make a business with only 5 grand in my bank account? And so after jumping into YouTube and everything, I landed on wholesaling, and it made sense to me. So I just dove head first into, you know, learning everything I could and taking massive action to get the ball rolling. That's how I stumbled across real estate, was YouTube University.
YouTube University. That's beautiful. I
Yeah.
like that. So, for those of us who aren't familiar with wholesaling, could you kind of describe what wholesaling is and why it's appealing to you?
Yeah, wholesaling's pretty simple concept, right? Is you're you're talking with homeowners and getting them to sell you their property at a discount. So essentially, say you're selling me your property, right? And you've got a property worth 100 grand. I'm gonna say, Aaron, um, you know, I need to buy this property from you for 65,000. Remember, the house is worth 100. For whatever reason, you decide to say yes. You've got a foreclosure impending. You've got a divorce you're going through. You might be relocating for your job. There's all kinds of reasons why people will sell you their house, at a discount. So you say, okay, Nick, you can buy my house for 65,000. So we sign a contract, and then I turn around and I find somebody that will purchase contract for 75,000, 80,000, right? So the buyer agrees to do another contract for, let's just say, 75,000. So I've got a contract with you for 65. My buyer signed a contract with me for 75. We take both of those two contracts and turn them into the title company, and then we get the difference, which is a $10,000 fee. So that's, in a very simple example, that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of seems like, you mentioned how you came to Austin with 5 grand in your pocket. It kind of seems like, I guess kind of the idea people have about real estate is to get started, you need a ton of money to even get going.
I had nothing. I mean, I was handwriting letters on my kitchen table with pads of paper and envelopes that I got from Dollar General, and sitting there until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, handwriting letters and mailing them out. Yeah, I was getting you know cardboard and making bandit signs. Really, whatever it takes in the beginning. Now, there's much better tools that you can do that are free to get started. Like when I started, you didn't even have cold calling. Like I wish I would have known. Like I could have just used the dialer and cold called these sellers. I would have gotten a deal much faster. It took me 11 months to get my first deal. So yeah, it was an uphill grind and a battle. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to have a bunch of money to get started in it.
Yeah, absolutely. In turn, what was the grind in the battle? Was it more so the marketing or the strategy, or what was kind of the issue, you think?
Um, I didn't really know what I was doing. So yeah, I mean, I knew I was supposed to be sending out marketing, so I was sending out as many letters as I could every single day, putting out as many bandit signs as I could, and then you know, I didn't have like the real estate knowledge to really get anybody to trust me, and so I went on 104 appointments before I got my first deal, and that was really where that's where the rubber meets the road, right? When you strike out 104 times before you get a deal, how much grit and tenacity do you have to keep going? Especially when you're at like appointment number 50 and you're not getting a deal. That's what separates the men from the boys and is going to show who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. You just got to know, really. I mean, 99% of people that start any business, I don't care what it is, there's about a 99% failure rate for new businesses. So if you are going to embark on the entrepreneurial journey, you got to have that 1%er mentality that hell or high water, really you don't care what it's going to take, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could have easily gone 5, 10, 15 appointments and, just said, hey, this is where it ends. Let's call it quits. But 104 times, what made you not want to give up?
Because I've read so many, I watched so many videos, I'd sent out so many letters. I was already so invested at this point with my time and energy that, I had like, I remember sitting at my, kitchen counter one day and I thought about quitting one time. And I was like, you didn't come this far to only come this far. So the only way that I'm quitting is if I'm 6 feet under. And that's it. That was it. I mean, and I've never thought about quitting since. So I just made the decision. It's got to kill me. If it kills me, then hey, at least I said I gave it my all and it killed me. But I'm not gonna let if other people are out there doing it and being successful at it, then damn it, I'm gonna do it too. I'm just won't be denied.
There you go. It took a few tries, but here you are. So are you, just so we know, are you strictly wholesaling in the Austin area or around the state, around the country? What markets are you looking into?
I do the entire United States. So we are here, in my office. I'll show you guys my office if you want, but we're talking to people over the phone all day long, locking up properties under contract and selling them all over the country. So like, I'll show you kind of just a basic setup. I know I'm a visual person, so like here's the team. A lot of my guys are at lunch right now, but you can get an idea of what's going on. So this is acquisitions team right here. Podcast right now. So, 3 calls at a time. Yeah. How many deals you guys think we'll bring in today? Probably what, like 3, 4? 3, 4. Yeah, we got like 3 or 4 more deals coming in, and then this is our dispositions team over here. So they're selling the deals to the investors all over the country. And then, we got just a nice little office setup, ping pong table, some extra cubicles. We got a couch, flat screen. We got a break room and conference room and all that stuff too. So, it's a pretty simple setup. Essentially, we're an inside sales team.
Yeah, absolutely. So just curious as well. I mean, it's not like you're just here in the Austin market, you're all over the country. So, what sort of challenges do you face in kind of different markets?
I mean, where do I even begin?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's a broad question. We've got, there's all kinds of things. Just for example, with attorney states, you've got different laws on how you have to close the transaction. So you got to learn that. You've got, obviously, being remote, that comes with a set of challenges that we had to learn and adapt and overcome. But not really anything else. Like, Texas real estate's really good, but there's great real estate all over the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you live in a hot market like Austin, it's kind of easy to get tunnel vision just on the Austin market, just on the Texas market. But I mean, you're all over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've done, I think, 48 of the 50 states so far, and trying to tick off those last 2. We got to get the last 2 we're working on is Vermont and New Hampshire. So those are the only 2 states we haven't done deals in yet.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I guess only time will tell, right? It's only a matter of time.
We'll get them. We'll get them. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess shifting gears a bit as well, from the wholesaling, are you also, in a few other real estate related businesses, or what are your other endeavors look like?
Yeah, so I own a trucking company as well. So I own semi trucks that transport, goods all over the place. So I love the semi trucks just because, especially for like real estate investors, we're looking for cash flow, right? So I had to make a decision. Where am I going to put my money? I was like, what do I see myself doing long term? And long term, I'm going to be owning large commercial properties, but as a bridge to get there, it's like, okay, where do I want to park my money in that intermediary time? And I could have put it into single family or duplexes, triplexes, quads, but the cap rate and appreciation just didn't really give me, it just wasn't sexy enough for me. So, like, for a truck, I'm paying, you know, $20,000 a truck. I can buy a good used truck at an auction for 20 grand. And then it's bringing me in net at the end of the month, $3,900 a month net after expenses, right? So you're not going to get that in real estate, right? So what's my plan is to continue to build my fleet, which I'm doing. I got to go buy 2 new trucks next week, and then just keep building that out. And then I also own e-commerce company, so I've got 4 Walmart automation stores, Amazon FBA store, and then a eBay store as well. So those are all going. So my passive income is getting up there, but I've got goals for that right now as well. I mean, that's my main focus now, is strategically building out my passive income, not so I can just go out and drive Lambos and buy penthouses and stuff. It's because that passive income, those residuals just stack up, and I'm taking all that and going all in on really nice commercial buildings. So that's the plan over the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's a terrific plan. So just curious as well with the trucks, you don't really hear this every day, right? It seems like, people are into the crypto, they're into the real estate, they're into the stocks. How did you get into trucking? Was it someone who, told you about it, or how did you find out about that?
So I'm a naturally curious person. That's another mindset thing is I'm always learning, right? So, the same way that I learned how to do real estate wholesaling was like, you know, going down the wormhole on YouTube was the same way that I learned how to do trucking. So, I'm on TikTok all the time. I get a ton of ideas from there. That's great if you're not watching dance videos, right? You got to be on there like following entrepreneurs and, following the hashtags for, money and success. And you'll get recommendations and you'll start seeing, hey, there's a lot of people doing a lot of really cool things out there to make money. And, that's kind of how I stumbled across it. And then, I ended up, you know, taking a course, got my MC and DOT number, bought a truck, and that's how it kind of started from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you're kind of in the infant stages of it. You'll get one truck, you'll get two trucks. You have two now, and then build your fleet, right?
Yeah, I've got two now, and then I'm getting another two, and then I'm continuing to build it out. So it's easy. Um, yeah, they're easy to manage. I work with a company in Houston that manages my fleet. So I just get a residual check every single week, weekly deposits just coming into my account. Right. So I'm very hands off with it. I don't have to fuss with the drivers and figure out the invoices and all that stuff. I used to do that, but I decided like I'd rather take a little bit less money for way less headache.
Yeah, that's absolutely crucial. Being able to kind of not only see the big picture, but also kind of be able to delegate like the way you're doing, right?
hmm Yeah, I mean, your time's your most precious asset. So, if I was spending my time doing, administrative things for my trucking company, it wouldn't be the best use of my time. I'd rather just pay a company, let them take a rip of the profits, and I mean, it still kicks the shit out of any single family house you're ever going to get. Obviously, it's a depreciating asset, and a truck's not going to last 100 years, but for a short-term bridge to get your cash flow up, it's a real easy way to start generating passive income and money without having to have a whole ton, saved up. And I think it's good for anybody that's looking to just build up their monthly cash flow. Get a truck, put it on the road, and start making money.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. So just curious as well, when you got hooked up with this company in Houston, was it you that was you were looking for them, or they just kind of came to you and said, "Hey, we can offer you these services"?
No, my driver had a family member who was really ill, and so when one of my drivers couldn't work for a period of weeks, I was like, I need to figure something out. And so I'm in a trucking mastermind as well. So I reached out to some of the members in my mastermind, and they were like, hey, yeah, contact this company, tell her I sent you, and see what happens. And then that's kind of how it started. So it's power in networking, right? Like I'm a huge believer in masterminds and paying for education and paying for resources to get you to where you want to go faster.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to that old adage, you get what you pay for, right?
Exactly. So don't skimp out on definitely your education. I've probably spent over $500,000 on my education, and I never went to a single day of college in my life.
Yeah, you brought up something interesting there as well. You're talking about having the education without having the quote education, right? What do you make of just being able to kind of self-teach, right, compared to traditional schooling?
Um, I mean, I told you I barely made it through high school, so traditional schooling's not for me. Like, if I want to learn something, I'm very motivated to learn it. Like, I'll buy the course. All right, $5,000. Here you go. I bought the course, and I'll sit down and I'll blitz through it for like in a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put my headphones in and I'll fucking lock in and take notes and learn everything I can in that course, right? And then immediately start implementing. If they've got a group that I should be plugged in with, like a Facebook group or an advanced, like higher level mastermind, depending on, what I'm trying to do, like I'll join those, higher level masterminds to shortcut my learning curve and get me to where I want to go faster. But I mean, it's just got to be something that I'm interested in. Like, I'm not going to sit there and listen to a fucking algebra teacher. Not going to do it. But you want to talk about something like, hey, real estate or, trucking, something that's going to help put myself and my family in a better position in, 5 years, and I can see that, and then I'm all in. Like, I'm gonna give it 110%, and I'm gonna do my best to be the star student, of whatever I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. For a lot of people, it's one thing to look at algebra and see these letters like X, Y, Z, look at calculus, but when you put a dollar sign in front of it, when you make it more practical and you kind of say, hey, this can be the end result for you, and that's money, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a lot more appealing to you.
Correct. That's it. I think that's where they kind of lack in schools, is they're not really tying it to a tangible result, right? If for instance, if I was learning wholesaling and there was a requirement that I had to learn algebra, I would have learned fucking algebra to be successful at wholesaling. Thank God it didn't. But it's just, with formal education, I think a lot of times they're giving you this information dump and you don't necessarily know how you're going to apply it. With self-education, you're usually taking a course for a specific reason. So, I don't care if it's a knitting course, right? You're like, hey, well, when I finish this course, I'm going to be a badass knitter and I'm going to knit a scarf and I'm going to send it to somebody, right? So you just have to have, I think being able to have those goals and know why you're putting the time and energy into doing education is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess from, your perspective as, an entrepreneur, you've got the trucking company, you've got the e-commerce, you've got the wholesaling. For you, what would you kind of recommend for someone to have, an education that would suit them as an entrepreneur to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it, right out of the gate. Is I put myself through YouTube University, and then just really threw myself out there and went to the school of hard knocks and failed on 104 appointments before I got a deal. I would not recommend that be the move. I would recommend getting plugged in with a mentor right out of the gate. I didn't start getting any traction into my business until I plugged in with a mentor. I try to figure it out all on my own, and by just watching videos and compiling all the different things I learned. And it's a really haphazard, careless way to try to build a business, in my opinion. If you're going to do something, find the best person in that field and figure out how to get in front of them and pay them what the hell they want to get paid and go be the best at it, right?
Yeah.
Pay them what they need to get paid. I don't care what you got to do. If you're serious about, wholesaling or starting any other kind of company, figure out who the best in that field is, and then pay them for their time, work for free for them. Put yourself in a position. I don't care if you got to beg, barter, or steal, but get in front of those people and learn from them. It's going to drastically decrease the amount of mistakes you're going to make, and you're going to end up making it up in the long run, because you'll just make more money that way, and you're not going to spend as much time, energy, and money on stuff you could have avoided. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's kind of about having that long-term vision and kind of knowing, the hard work you're doing now can really lead you somewhere in the future, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to go, learn about sending a rocket to space, I would probably call Elon. I'd figure out how to get in front of Elon Musk, right? Or whatever it is. Figure out how to get in front of the right people. Put yourself in their circle. Figure out if they have a mentorship, a course, and start plugging in with the people that will get you to where you want to go. That proximity and being able to have, access to people that are already doing what you want to do is going to catapult your success. Don't try to just sit there and watch YouTube videos like I do. There's going to be a long road for you if you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, you can only read so much. You can only watch so much before you kind of just have to, get your hands dirty, right?
And you know what? Like if, say you, you were somebody that was mentoring me. If you're sitting here with me right now and you know the situation, we're having an open dialogue, and you tell me to go out there and do something, I'm going to go do it. Or if you explain something to me, I understand it differently than if I'm watching just a generic video, right? It's me and you having a one-on-one dialogue. It's way more impactful, and you're speaking directly to me. So, get that education. Education is extremely important, but be discerning on where you get your education from. You know, find good mentors, and I'm not saying don't listen to podcasts and YouTube videos. That stuff's important, but the fastest, most impactful way is, mentors, masterminds, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely true, especially in a world where we're kind of living with, these 30-second clips, these sound bites, and they all sound good and fine, but at the end of the day, you want a positive end result for yourself and for the people around you.
Correct. And that's the mentality that I'll take into any other venture that I go into, because I learned the hard way the first time building my wholesaling business. So if I wanted to go, start a company selling coffee mugs tomorrow, I'm going to find the best, biggest, best company for selling coffee mugs, and, plug into the C-suite there and see what I can do to take them out to lunch, or, how can I pay them for their time?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely true. So, are there any, I guess on that note, are there any courses that you're kind of into, or, what's kind of piquing your interest aside from what you've mentioned so far?
Yeah, I mean, right now, outside of what I do, I'm constantly looking at new businesses and ideas to go after, but rarely do I go like deep on something. So I'm still doing a lot of surface level research on things like, liquidation businesses. I like those a lot. Tax surplus, where basically you help people unlock money that's, sitting at the government. Um, but there's nothing that I've been like, yeah, this is a hell of a business. I'm going to dive into it. Except for commercial, I'm investing about $70,000, and we're starting a commercial division within my company, my current real estate company, and I'm very excited about that. So commercial real estate is where my outside of what we've already talked about, where my main focus is.
Okay, yeah, I guess we could kind of delve into that a bit as well. So is that more so, wholesaling commercial property, or what's kind of the idea with delving into commercial?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the asset class, right? It's hard to become a billionaire making 20,000, $40,000 assignment fees, right? If you want to become a billionaire, it's going to come through, equity in perpetuity on commercial real estate. And, if you are going to be wholesaling them or flipping them, you got to be making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Bottom line,
Yeah.
can't be screwing around the rest of my life with these single family houses. Or I own one of the largest single family wholesaling companies in the United States. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, could I 10x this? Yeah, but it's going to be 10x more headache.
Yeah.
I'd rather just go into another asset class that I can do the same amount of work and get a way larger reward.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. So, for those of us who aren't too familiar, could you kind of explain, what an asset class is and maybe different types of asset classes?
Yeah, I mean, within real estate, um, you've got multiple different asset classes. Like you've got single families, right? Then
Yeah.
you've got your 2 to 4 units. So that's your duplex, triplexes, and quads. And then bigger than that, that's what they classify as commercial real estate. So anything over 5 units. Once you get into commercial real estate, that there's a bunch of different assets within commercial real estate, right? Like you've got office buildings like the one I'm sitting in right now. You've got mobile home parks. you've got apartment buildings, you've got, you know, land. There's all kinds of different commercial real estate out there. And, you know, you just focus on which ones resonate, you know, the most with you. So that's kind of how it goes in real estate for asset classes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a matter of kind of researching it, learning about it, and then just getting in there and doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, plugging in with good people too. That will help you shortcut all the mistakes you're about to make going on any new endeavor.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. It is interesting how a lot of people they like to look into, bigger volume, bigger deals, right? So there's a lot of people transitioning, at least in the real estate world, from maybe wholesaling to flipping homes to new construction to development, commercial, whatever it may be.
Yeah. I mean, for me, we've done plenty of flips and construction, and I realize what I'm good at. I'm a sales guy. I'm good at, you know, building sales teams. When it comes to flips and all the things that go along with it, for me, it's too much headache and brain damage. Now we still do flips. Like I've got like 4 or 5 flips going on right now, but it's not my main focus. Like I'd say 90% of the stuff we do is wholesale, just because it's way less brain damage. If something makes sense, we'll cherry pick it as a flip, and we do, you know, like I said, 4 or 5 of them at a time, but it's not my main focus.
Absolutely. It just kind of seems like, you have a lot of different irons in the fire, but, with the flips, it kind of seems like it's a lot of legwork compared to, what you could do with something else.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like what's your return on time going to be? Okay, like so if I do this flip, how much time is it going to take me, and how much extra money am I going to make? And in that time, how many other wholesale deals could I lock up, and how much money could I make doing that? And usually the um, ratio for me is like I'll make more money if we just stay focused and keep getting more deals and wholesaling.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on something interesting as well, kind of not only related to real estate, but also to your businesses as well. Kind of this relationship, between time and money, right?
Yeah, we've all got the same 24 hours in a day, right? So why is there people out there that are billionaires and, you know, we're not? They
Yeah.
got the same 24 hours, but obviously they did something more impactful and valuable to the economy and got more money for it in return. So we're just not making enough impact. We're sitting around screwing around with these single family houses, and we're not doing it at a large enough scale to be, you know, billionaires. So, you know, what do we got to do, right? We got the same 24 hours as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, everybody. So you got to continue to try to think, um, how can I be more impactful with my time and more impactful with what I'm doing and the businesses that I'm trying to take on. Very important. So you can have everything you want, but you need to prioritize and take time management seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking your time seriously and kind of, having that value proposition, right? Being able to, add value to your economy, to the people around you.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, I mean that the you get paid in direct proportion to the value that you provide to the marketplace, right? That's why somebody sweeping floors doesn't get paid as much as somebody that's engineer, because the person sweeping floors is it valuable? Yeah, it needs to get done, but it's really not as valuable as an engineer, right? So you get paid in direct proportion to the amount of value that you give to the world around you. So if you're not getting paid the amount that you want, it's because you're not giving enough value. The
Yeah.
economy doesn't discriminate based on anything. So you got no excuse. If you're not getting the money that you want, you're not giving enough value to society. Plain and simple.
Yep. I mean, aside from kind of that value proposition, regardless of whether you're that guy that's sweeping the floors or you're the guy that owns the building, um, you know, let's say someone's kind of dissatisfied with where they're at. Maybe they're looking to kind of scale up in whatever business they're in. That can be scary for some people. How do you scale up?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you got to know what you're doing within your business. So before you try to scale up and 10x everything you're doing, make sure you understand your KPIs within inside of your business. So know your numbers. How much does it cost to generate a lead? How much does it cost to generate a deal? What's your average deal size, right? I.e., how much do you make on those deals? Okay, what are my margins? Got to know that shit. Because if you go in there and start cranking on levers within your business and trying to hire and uh, throw more marketing on, you could it could potentially be catastrophic, or it's just going to be a big mess, and it's going to be you're going to have a lot of stress on your plate. So know your numbers within your business, know them very well. You should be tracking that every single week and reviewing them every single week with the people within your organization. Once you've got a really strong grasp on your numbers, you'll be able to see, okay, at this point, if we bring on additional staff or if we increase marketing based on the historical track record and numbers, that will yield this result. So you're not just going in blind and trying to, make scaling up decisions. You don't go based on what you're feeling in the moment and how things should be. You make decisions based on data. You're a business owner, so treat it like a business. Be a grown up and make data-based decisions. Like I like what I did to get to where I'm at was once I had my KPIs, I've been doing the business for 3 years at this point. I understood it. And at this point, I was paying everything all cash, running it through my checking account. And I got to the point where I was like, well, look, if I just, I was spending probably like 10K a month in marketing and I, was a little understaffed. I said, okay, well, look, if I take that up to $75,000 a month in marketing, I bring on 2 additional employees. I can get my company up to probably like $350,000 a month. And I was like, well, that monthly overhead is going to cost me an additional, 65,000 in marketing. Then I got labor and commissions, and I'm not going to see the money back. I knew how long it would take to get the money back. I was like, I can invest this now. I'm not going to see the money for 4 months from now. So I'm going to have to carry those expenses for 4 months. So I was like, all right, well, how the hell am I going to do this? So like, I've got a giant book of credit cards, like a whole damn binder full of them here, and so like, I was like, all right, well, let me go talk to Mr. American Express, Mr. Chase, Mr. Bank of America. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to crank this marketing up and, do it like that. And then that's pretty much how it went down was I understood my numbers. I front loaded all my expenses onto a credit card and then worked my ass off, paid the cards off, and then just kept it going from there. So that's how you scale up. You take smart bets, right? You can't make a smart bet if you don't understand the numbers.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's how you do it. Go in, take big bets, be bold, but don't be stupid.
Be bold, but don't be stupid. That can
Correct.
be a bumper sticker. I like that.
Yes.
I love that. That's great. Well, Nick, I mean, for you, I know we touched on a lot of things. We touched about, real estate, wholesaling, trucking, commercial. What about you? What are you looking for in this new year in 2021?
Yeah, this year, I mean, like I was telling you, I'm engaged, so I'm going to try to get married this year. Last year we are going to get married, but 2020 was not the year. So we're going to try to do that this year. And then, my financial goals outside of my real estate business is to generate an additional $65,000 a month in recurring cash flow. And I'm on track to do that. So once I do that, that's going to really speed up, acquiring big commercial assets and things like that. And I'm not going to have to drain on my real estate business. I can let that grow and start my commercial division. So those are all some things that, I'm looking forward to right now and I'm executing on. And, God willing, we're gonna be in a way different position, by the middle of just by the middle of this year. So got a big 2021 lined up. I'm super excited about it.
Beautiful, beautiful to hear. Is there anything else you haven't said that you really just like to hammer home?
No, I mean, I think we hit on a lot of good points. If you guys, need some help or want to, reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram. It's at Nick Perry, REI. I'll do one-on-ones with people. It's not free, but I'll jump on and do like one-on-ones like we're doing right now with Aaron. If you guys need help, with a specific business challenge or whatever, reach out to me. We can set something up. And yeah, above and beyond that, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. I'm glad we could make this happen. I've learned a lot, not only about you, but about mindset, business, and we covered a lot of ground. So it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, you guys got some value, and yeah, look forward to talking again sometime soon.
Absolutely, Nick. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Thanks, man.